In the silence of the night, a massive Boeing 777 vanished high in the sky. Can a 250-ton metal bird, equipped with some of the most advanced technology in the world, simply disappear without a trace? Science says no. Everything that is lost leaves a trail behind. But on the night of 8 March 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 posed a question to the entire world that still remains buried deep in the ocean. 239 lives, an unwanted destination, and a mystery that instead of being solved, only deepens with each passing year. This is the story of a flight that never reached Beijing. At Kuala Lumpur International Airport that night, everything seemed completely normal. A Boeing 777-200ER stood ready. Captain Zaharie Ahmad Shah, a man with over 30 decades of aviation experience, entered the cockpit. With him was First Officer Farid Hamid, still completing his training. The weather was clear and the journey to Beijing was about 5 hours. The aircraft was fueled for more than 7 hours of flight. The flight plan was straightforward and communication between pilots and ground control was routine. No one had any idea this would be their last normal night. Flight MH370 took off at 12:42 a.m. The aircraft quickly gained altitude and settled at 35,000 feet. As it flew over the South China Sea, Captain Zaharie's voice was calm and normal. Ground control instructed Malaysia 370, contact Ho Chi Minh on 120.9, good night. The captain replied, good night, Malaysia 370. These were the last recorded words from the flight. There was no emergency, no warning, nothing unusual, just a routine goodbye. But just 2 minutes after that good night, flight MH370 disappeared from radar. At exactly 1:21 a.m., the aircraft's transponders shut off. The bright line on secondary radar vanished instantly. Air traffic control assumed it might be a technical issue, but the truth was far more disturbing. When Vietnamese controllers tried to locate the aircraft, it was gone. A silent gap formed between Malaysia and Vietnam. But the real shock came when military radar data was analyzed. Unlike civilian radar, military systems can track aircraft even without a transponder. The data revealed something unexpected. The plane did not continue toward Vietnam. Instead, it made a sharp 180-degree turn. This was not random movement or evidence of a crash. The Boeing 777 turned in a highly controlled manner. It headed back toward Malaysia, passing near Penang Island before changing course again. Experts believe the autopilot may have been disengaged, as such a sharp turn would not normally be automated. The aircraft then flew along the borders of Thailand and Indonesia, carefully avoiding restricted airspace, as if deliberately staying out of military detection zones. But technology still had one silent observer. Even after radar and radio contact were lost, a satellite in space continued to detect the aircraft's presence. The Inmarsat system exchanged automatic signals with the plane's SATCOM system, known as handshakes. These signals contained no location data, but their timing allowed scientists to form a rough boundary. This boundary became known as the 7th arc. It confirmed that the aircraft continued flying for about 6 more hours after disappearing from radar, eventually heading toward the southern Indian Ocean, a vast, empty stretch of water. Then came another shocking detail. At 2:25 a.m., nearly an hour after it vanished, the aircraft's satellite system logged back on. This suggested a possible power interruption, followed by a restart. For aviation experts, this is a major clue. Did someone deliberately shut down power in the cockpit and later restart only essential systems? These hourly satellite signals became a haunting countdown toward fuel exhaustion. Investigators explored every possible theory. Could it have been a pilot suicide? A flight simulator found in Captain Zaharie's home showed a route to the southern Indian Ocean, created about a month before the incident. But does a simulator file prove intent? His professional record was clean, and his personal life showed no clear signs of distress. Another theory suggested fire on board. The cargo included lithium-ion batteries, which can sometimes cause toxic smoke or fire. But in that case, could pilots still maintain such precise control for hours? Hypoxia, or oxygen deprivation, was also considered. A sudden cabin pressure failure could have rendered everyone unconscious, allowing the aircraft to continue flying on autopilot until fuel ran out. Meanwhile, the world launched one of the most expensive search operations in aviation history. The southern Indian Ocean was scanned by underwater drones and sonar systems covering areas never explored before, yet no wreckage was found. Then, in 2015, 16 months later, a breakthrough appeared. A flaperon washed ashore on Reunion Island. Serial numbers confirmed it belonged to MH370. Over time, nearly 30 more pieces of debris were found along African coastlines. These confirmed the aircraft had ended in the ocean, but the exact location remained unknown. A newer approach, called WSPR analysis, later offered another possibility. This method studies weak radio signals bouncing through the atmosphere to trace aircraft movement. According to this data, flight MH370 followed a jagged path in the southern Indian Ocean and likely entered a high-speed spiral descent once fuel was exhausted. Experts believe the aircraft impacted the ocean at extreme speed. Items like interior panel fragments and TV casings found on beaches suggest a violent crash. But without the main wreckage or black boxes, everything remains uncertain. 20 years have passed, yet the shadow of MH370 still lingers over aviation history. This is not just a story of technical failure or human error. It is the story of 239 families still waiting for answers. For modern science, it remains a reminder that even the most advanced systems can fail to explain disappearance. Until the main wreckage is found, flight MH370 will remain a mystery suspended between sky and ocean. The true tragedy was not the crash itself, but the fact that it vanished completely, leaving the world powerless. Some mysteries remain unsolved, so that we never forget that behind every advancement in technology, there is still an unexplained silence.